So what we've done to generally provide resources for elemental meaning needs or referential meaning needs, depending on the language that's more comfortable for them, is just to create a starting set. And by the way, it calls me to want to come back and take a few minutes and explain what you're looking at. This is the learner interface. It's a prototype of something that I want you to envision that you're holding in your hands. It can run on an Apple II, it can run on a Macintosh, on a Classic, or run an FX, on an MS-DOS machine with a CGA, or with a 486 with a VGA. It's across the board. It's a generalized learner interface. So just like the Macintosh has this graphical desktop leverageable system, so once you've learned one thing, you can kind of use the file and cut and paste and all the rest of it and leverage that into a different application or creativity tool. We asked the question, forget about all of this for the moment, what would a tool like that be if it was entirely designed to be responsive to individual learner needs and interface those learner needs with domains or resource bubbles for learning material? So that's what we're looking at. It's crude, it's in HyperCard for those of you that means anything to. It's designed to be enormously efficient at many different power levels. It uses entirely different underground technologies than current file structures, current database and network technologies. For those that are technically interested, we can talk about that. But right now, I'd like to come back and start talking about how it's used and not necessarily how it works. As I was saying, we have these different classes of reference support that might be relevant to supporting a meaning need that's occurring in a learner as they encounter a word, term, phrase, or object. And using conventional language with dictionary, thesaurus, author's notes, biographical information, etymological information, quotes, citations, bibliographic information, speech or audio information, alternative languages, so say, what is this in French term? Alternative or encyclopedic-like elaborations as opposed to something quickly concise. I don't know about you, but sometimes I almost remember what that means, and I just need something real quick, like a little flash, a fast flash on something, and I can pick up and move again. Other times, wow, this is important, I need to travel deeper into it. So this responds to those surface level elemental meaning needs. These are different classes of support the learner might get. We call it situational. It's not like a lot of hypermedia systems or hypertext systems that you may have seen that has a lot of buttons on it that may or may not be actually relevant to your request or your learning needs. There's nothing here that doesn't respond to the exact available content as it relates to the situation you've articulated you need support for. So it's an interface designed to dance with you at the level of your needs. So for example, if, let's say we'll use this word as a trigger, if somebody had put a dictionary support for acronym, authors know by what they meant by it, pronounced it, an encyclopedia, and the roots of it, but when that word was clicked on, the learner would indicate this by pointing on it or by using a trackball underneath the handheld device, if you will, or using a mouse as I just did. When they click on it, the quick reference light would come on, indicating that there's support for it. If they clicked on something there wasn't very support, they wouldn't. We'll talk later about how we're about 95% in our safety net, how the safety net works. Okay, so when they click on this, this pops up. And when they go to look at this, a situationally relevant menu occurs, which exactly corresponds to exactly what's available. Now, let me show you what that's like in real life and in actual context. By the way, I don't want to spend too much time on this. I use this kind of image to remind me in the course of our conversations that to me the development of curriculum instructional materials, the development of materials that need to not evolve in intimate contact with learners, but rather offline from learners, test-driven, measurement-driven, and so forth, is very much like this model here. It's almost like the Turing test for any of you that have experienced that in literature. as if there's this 4 or 5 foot cement wall, with this little tiny little tube going through it, and on this side sits authors, instructional designers, curriculum designers, and they make this thing on this little string of paper and shove it through the hole. Right? And over here, millions of learners get the stuff that comes fed out as thousands of them, right? And they try to respond to it, you know, and then somewhere way down the line, somebody over here measures that very crudely, and then passes and summarizes that back over here, so that months later they change what went to the tube. Very grossly out of sync.
I am wondering, why are you here?
I'm going to switch out of this mode now, but this kind of indicates that one of the things this learner interface does is that when you turn pages, I'm going to use some crude paper-based analogies just to make the access to the simpler, but it's not about pages and it's not about any of the arbitrary divisions of content that have come along according to printing press conveniences. All organized according to domains of meaning, meanings, structural relations that occur within learning objectives, and how learner resources might support their meaning within them. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to explain part of what I'm doing, but is I'm going to go to the library and change what we're looking at. Move to a little module on gravity. So I'm now in gravity, and I'm going to change the representation. I'll explain some of this as we go. To a more conductive mode. I don't want to look at this regular central thread textbook thing. And I want to look at the personalities that participated in the development of the theory of gravity: Aristotle, Galileo, Newton, and Einstein. Particularly interested in Einstein. Take a look at a picture of him.